Harriet? Or,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, call me whatever you like, I don't mind.
And have you, because I saw a bit on your Instagram, to get some background, have you done your personal trainer qualification? I'm still working towards it.
So I'm halfway through it. I've got my level 2 and I'm just in my level 3 right now.
Okay.
So I'm like partly qualified.
That's
But
so
I was
cool.
actually never going to qualify. I was actually ever planning on being a PT. It was because, I don't know, the whole We Are Athletes thing started to snowball. I thought, actually, I might qualify to become a PT and then actually start training people.
I know so many people who did that, who like started gymming and they'd put like bits up on their Instagram and stuff, and they kind of just like ended up doing it because like someone asked for advice, or like they were training someone and they were like, oh, I may as well like get paid for this.
Well, and that's the thing, like I struggle with when I wasn't qualified. Well, I'm partly qualified now, but you get people on your Instagram asking you loads of questions, and like I have to say like what I do, because I would hate to, because I'm I'm not qualified, I don't want to give the wrong advice and whatever. So I said what I did. I thought I'd love to actually be able to give proper advice and actually have the qualifications too.
Qualified to do it.
So yeah,
all the PTs I know are so busy as well. Like just so much work, especially this time of year where everyone's like, I want to get summer body ready.
I know, what is it, New Year, New Me?
Yeah, I've seen so many people out running when I've been driving to work and back.
Yeah. My friend's sister, every time she just cuts carbs completely out of her diet and then loses loads of weight and then starts eating carbs again and puts it all back on.
Yeah. And basically, like all these diets, all they are is a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
That's literally all they are. Like I eat everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. There's not food I don't like.
Yeah.
Actually, isn't it, Mum? I eat everything.
Yeah.
I love food. And the way
we're all the same.
I know. And
the best way to be there. Food is so good.
So good. And I think like a lot of riders think like when I'm talking about this, like, oh my god, you're on diets and I'm like, I'm on no diet. I eat a lot of calories.
Yeah.
I eat like 2,300 calories probably, and that's a lot of calories. Like that's a lot of food to be shoving in my face. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think I probably wouldn't want to be any lighter because I've got to ride big horses.
Yeah.
So I think it's all. When I've heard event riders go, oh, just come out of the winter, so like, I'm starving myself 2 months prior to. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Harry Mead does that. He loses like a stone before badminton.
And how does he feel? Like, how is he riding up to that? Like, you have no energy. Like, the motivation will be low. Like, everything is low when you're not eating. Like, we need food.
Yeah.
And especially, we have to have. I don't know if anyone else gets hangry, but I get seriously hangry. If I am starving myself, if I'm trying to ride horses where you're meant to have patience, I have tricky horses. I do not need to be hangry on top of tricky horses. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's this is where like I want to come in with it, because I want to just put more education out there for it.
I was a rower in my first year of uni, so they were like really tight on like what we were eating and how many calories we were getting. Like on a race day, even if you weren't racing, just in case you were going to be put in a boat, they'd be like, okay, when you get up you can have you're not allowed a coffee until half an hour before the event, you're only allowed to eat like porridge. And I was like, I was really confused, and everyone was like, but like you compete normally, like what do you have before an event? And I was like I wake up, I have a cup of tea, and then I might have another coffee before when I get to the event, and then I have a bacon sandwich, or like
smash some chicken nuggets or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's
like you're
mental.
coming home and you're like, KFC's right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're so relaxed compared to other sports. Like other sports are so professional and so on it.
Well, this is where the name came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The We Are Athletes name, because there's this thing, isn't there? Like there's an Instagram, a Facebook meme going around like, footballers think they're athletes and like they're falling over or something, you know, and they hurt themselves, and we're having rotationals off horses
and getting on the next one.
Yeah, and we're not athletes.
Yeah.
And that was actually a massive thing for me when I saw that. I was like, why we aren't really associated as athletes? And I always remember I'm not going to mention the name, but there was someone at the Olympics, and she said they were all sitting down in a food hall, all the athletes, and she said they were all incredibly fit, and then there was the horse riding table. Yeah. We were slightly overweight, and we weren't as fit as the rest of the athletes.
I worked for a guy who was there for Australia, so I worked for Sam Griffiths basically, and he was like, London was so funny because you'd walk through the athletes village and they'd be like, people were stretching, people were like working out their diet plans, like doing their exercise, and then if you saw someone with like a fag in one hand and a pint in the other, they were a rider.
Exactly.
Which is
that's
like
mad.
And I do love that, but like I love how like chill our sport is, and like I love the fact that at an international you have a party on the Saturday night. Like I love
for like the biggest day on the other day.
I do love that, but every now and again you're just like, how good would we be if we actually took this seriously?
Like, you can carry on doing it, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm like shaming them. That's the other thing I really don't want, because like I've been to parties on the Saturday night,
and they are great.
Osberton one, the best one ever. I love that one.
I got sent home from the Osberton party I was there for the 7-year-old championships, and one of my friends was like, have you walked the course? And I was there like with whatever I was drinking, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. She was like, no, Tess, I've walked the course as well. Get to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to be on it. Yeah. Get to bed.
But it's more of a case of changing habits, and then once you start changing your lifestyle, you then won't want to go to those parties. So I'm not saying to everyone, stop going to those parties, stop going out drinking, stop eating those takeaways. It's not about that. It's about changing slightly your lifestyle, as in what you eat, your habits, everything like that, and then over time you then actually want to take care of yourself, and you want to perform at your best, because at the moment a lot of the riders don't know any different. They don't know what it feels like to eat a really good diet, get enough sleep
and feel that good,
and then perform even better. Like, they don't know, and until they do know, they're not going to start changing things. And I think that's the biggest thing. But I think riders, they're like picking it. They sort of want to know, but they don't know how to know. They don't want to go to any old PT, because they don't understand what riding 10 horses a day does to you.
When I was at, I went to uni in London, and they gave me a sports scholarship because I'd done student riding, so I'd ridden technically for my country. And they were like, someone, have you got money? And I went to the personal training, and they were like, so you ride, what muscles do you use? And he was like, I've put this plan together, we can see if it works. If it doesn't really work, we'll adjust it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think it's
so lost.
I think that like attitude change is slowly coming through, because I think at the kind of with the older riders, because there's like, if you wanted to do horses seriously as your career, you probably had the money behind you, and it was probably just going to happen anyway. You know, you were just like, if you were dedicated enough, it just going to happen, so you could afford to not take it that seriously. But I do think there's a whole generation coming through where they've had to take it really seriously from the minute they're doing ponies, which you must have felt as well. Like your parents are spending that money on the ponies, like you're taking it seriously, you're taking your performance seriously, you're training seriously. And I am seeing a lot more who like are going to the parties, or like they are like making sure their nutrition is alright. They're using sports psychologists, which I know Felicity Collins uses, and like they are like, even like at badminton, people like all the riders used to be at the party, and now the party's like all the visitors who are there,
exactly, spectators or the support team.
And I'm sure that's partly the reason why most of the riders were like, you know what, I'm not gonna go. But I have noticed that
I think the mental health side, so everyone's just starting to talk about it a lot more. Like, I know I've been through my fair share of mental health situations in the sport. Like, it's hard as hell. So and do you know what was so interesting? I met with Tom Daly. Like 5 years ago. Well, this was seriously. This was way before I started the We Are Athletes, but it was always went over and over my brain, and kind of without me really knowing, it kickstarted a lot of this for me. But I actually went. I luckily knew the trainer I had at the time. She knew his swim trainer, anyway, diving instructor. So they were like, oh yeah, we go along to London and we can meet Tom Daly. Anyway, I ended up spending the whole day with him, having lunch, everything, watching his total routine, like what he got up to. And I sat down with him at lunch, and he was more interested in what I did in my sport, because it was completely back. Like, he was like, what? This is crazy. Anyway, I remember him having this conversation. He said, what absolutely baffles me about everything you've told me is the fact that every day you get up and you self-motivate yourself. He said, every day I get up, I come to the gym and I meet my coach. My coach has told me what time to get up, what I eat, how I've got to train, what days I'm training, what I'm training that day. I go to bed, I wake up, I go to my coach. Like, there's never, his coach, the days he's not quite feeling motivated, he's got someone just, come on, put your best in, like, sort it out. As if us riders literally get up, like, this is why we are so incredible. We get up, like, I mean, I get up like 6, half 6 every morning. Like you said, you got up at times are. And we drag our asses to that yard and we carry it on, and we still get the best out of our horses, and we're still motivated every day to do that. And it's such a lonely sport. But that for me, so he said to me, I couldn't believe any of that, you know, like the fact that we motivate ourselves and the fact that we only see our trainers like once a week if we're lucky. I mean, if they're good trainers, you've got to wait probably till the next month or whatever to see them. But you've got to put that discipline in yourself. So that actually I was like, wow, that's so true. Like
I've never thought about it like that.
Me neither.
Like,
and if you look at every sport is the same apart from our sport. Football teams, they go to a coach.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So actually, we are bloody athletes. You know what I mean? Like, we need some sort of medal.
I do put the time in.
And I think I think we have to actually pat ourselves on the back for that. I think we actually are so hard on ourselves sometimes, but actually come right back to the start. We're actually incredible, and we've got a lot of motivation. I think everyone's like, oh, at the moment I was like, I'm suffering from motivation. Well, actually, as a general person, you're not. You've got a hell of a lot of motivation when it comes to just like any normal person, but you just might not be striving as much as you may have been when it was sunny.
I think the weather plate, because you're out in it all the time.
Knackering, like
and especially when it's dark. Like I got up at 6:30 to ride this morning, thinking like, oh, it'll get late. I'll light at like 7, and then I'll go and have a canter around the field. And I got up and I waited and I waited and I waited, and at 8 o'clock I did an hour of work at home, and then at 8 o'clock it got light, and then I went out to the field, and it was so deep my horse wouldn't even trot. Like I got like a couple of strides of trot, and we were both like, we're gonna lose a shoe. And then I went and trotted up the road and was like, I got up at 6:30 to trot up the road.
But you know, you sat on your horse isn't now fresh, you know what I mean? You know, it's not it's crazy. Like I do sometimes think, wow.
I do find it funny dealing with athletes in like my day job. I have from all of them I'm quite new, so I've introduced myself to them, and I'd be like, oh, the reason I've got the position I have is that I've been in your position, like I've competed internationally, so just know that when you come to me because like, you've got a little niggly injury or something, like I'm not going to be there going like, why aren't you doing this, like I get it. And all of them, when I've explained the sport I do, even if they don't fully understand, they're like, oh man, you horse riders, like you're so hardcore. And the only people who turn around and they're like, oh, but the horse does all the work, they're not professional. Like if they're a professional athlete, they've noticed the fact that horse riders do a lot.
I found it really interesting because I just get up whatever time I have to get up to get everything done. And I've noticed that if you are a professional, you don't care really what the time. No. If you're an amateur, you do have a concept of normal working hours.
So true.
So like I get to the yard every day for 7, but it's a 15-minute drive from my house, and I'm always the first one there. And there's 2 other people that have their horses there, and they never rock up until like 8, half 8.
God, my mum is gonna love this because she's always on the yard at 6:30. Always.
And they always look at me, they're like, oh, you got a busy day today, and I'm like, no, my horse gets fed at 7 every day, so I have to be here at 7 every day to feed my horse.
7 days a week.
That's just what happens. I always have, I do not like getting up before 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't like, even if I have to get up at 6 o'clock and like run around like a headless chicken, get everything ready, I do not like getting up before 6. But I was down working Parry Mead, and I just, while I was there, I lost all concept of like what is an early time to wake up. Like if I had to get up at 3, I'd just be like, oh sure. And then the next day was at 5, and I'd be like, oh sure, why not? Why not have 2 hours sleep? Why not?
But it's like, you know, you just know what you've got to fit in. Or you know you've got an event, and it's just what you do. It's just normalised to us.
And if
anyone else is like, what are you doing? Like,
and if you do need to have like half hours like sleep at lunch because you need to have sleep, then you're like, sure, why not?
Do we want to stop and introduce?
I turn the thing, so quite often I'll turn the thing on, and then everyone just gets chatting and like relaxes. And then I'll like take the first bit out. But actually we've got some good stuff, so I might just leave that in.
Or like stick it after our intro. This is really good editing.
I'll have a shimmy around.
Doesn't it? I need to get that out.
I'll have a shimmy around. Like if you swear or anything, I can take it out. It's fine.
Do you know, I was really worried about that, but I've got quite good at not swear. I swear a lot. But I've got really good at not doing it in important situations.
I swear.
Perhaps you could extend that and not do it in a home situation.
I swear a lot, and every time I swear on the podcast, you can see Alex like.
You're not swearer.
I'll take it out. It's fine. I'll take it out.
Awful.
I am. I just know you're not doing it on the podcast.
It's
I just
working
keep
on
it
yards. Every time I come back from a yard, I'm like
It's
a
awful.
sailor.
It's awful.
I'm like a sailor.
It says it's swearing, smoking, and drinking coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, although coffee's a banned substance,
Coffee,
you're not allowed to
yeah.
have coffee on yards. We had that when I was at Sam's. We had this whole, like, it was just after Jock and Kevin got,
Oh yeah.
whatever, like, accused at Burley or whatever happened. And Sam came onto the yard and was like, right, you're not allowed tea or coffee on the yard. And, like, he's not a tall man and every single one of us is taller than him. And he just had this bank of people like, no.
Yeah.
No. He was like, yeah, you're not allowed chocolate either. And we were like,
What?
no.
That's like the stable diet.
That's like everything you eat. Anyway,
Yes.
we quickly introduce it.
Yes. So if everyone knows who we're actually talking to. Right. So guys, welcome to the Penny Podcast. We haven't done that bit either. Today we've come to talk to Harriet Upton, who is a professional event rider based in West Sussex. She represented GB at the Junior Europeans in 2014, where she achieved double clear. Recently, though, she's set up We Are Athletes as a way to inspire riders through her own fitness journey, and she's on her way to becoming a personal trainer.
And hopefully encourage riders to be a bit more professional about
Yeah.
their
Well,
lives.
hopefully. That's the task anyway.
Was it? So I went to the loo before we started. There's a photo of you at Harass.
Oh
Around
yeah,
the
that
crowd.
was good. That was years ago.
I saw the photo and I was like, oh, I bet that was ponies. I bet that was her doing ponies.
It wasn't actually. That was they took 15 of us. I think I was only 15. I have to look at Mum for a lot of these things because I forget.
Is that the international?
Yeah, and they basically took a load of like potential juniors
Yeah.
just for the experience.
Oh, cool.
And I think I was 15 at the time, and they took me in. It's mad. Do you know, I've never been abroad since. I've been to went to Ireland last year, but that was the best. I so want to go back. That place
Really?
is awesome.
We were there we were both there grooming this year and it's so nice there.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice.
Yeah, so cool. Such a cool place.
We're so lucky in the UK. There are so many events. Like I've never competed abroad either because I just haven't had to. Like
No, I do agree with that.
everything's
Yeah.
here. But I do I do wish that I had, even just going to Tassels. Like it's nice.
Yeah, that's where I went
nip
last year.
somewhere-
That was really cool.
Go somewhere exciting.
Cool place. It's fun. It's just the experience, isn't it? Especially
Yeah.
if I did it with my friend Will Rawlings last year. We just had so much fun.
Yeah.
We called it like how long was the journey? Was long, like 13 hours or something. We just called it a 13-hour concert. We just sung the whole way there and just recorded ourselves singing.
I think sharing, like a lot of people share lorries over, and like that does make it, because
Yeah.
it is a long trek.
Yeah, it is.
A long schlep. Shall we start with actual questions
Yes.
instead of
Yeah,
just
hit me with
chatting?
the questions.
Well, no, we kind of are there. It's like you came up through the youth programs,
Yes.
and sort of at what stage did your fitness and that sort of thing get emphasised?
So there was a massive point for me where my life changed quite considerably. So I went to the Junior Europeans. I was 17 or 18? 18, yeah. See, I can't remember.
In that vague range.
Yeah, I don't even know how old I am now. But yeah, so I basically had this amazing horse, but he was very crooked, and my body was incredibly weak, and basically he put my hips out a lot, and I used to get really bad sciatic pain. Like I could not stand. The only thing I could do was ride a horse, but the minute I got off, I had to sit down. I couldn't untack him, nothing.
I get that.
And so it was so bad, and I was in the physio twice a day at the Europeans, just to make. I just needed to walk. Like I was in there constantly, and I was struggling to walk course, everything. Anyway, I managed to get through the Europeans. Obviously, I had a really great time. But there was in our pack, we got like a pack, and in that pack there was like a piece of paper that told you how to keep fit. But we were not doing anything at the training, because we had training camps, we weren't doing a thing. I remember dragging Sam McRoyd and Harry Harding for runs because I thought that's what we had to do. And I remember we went out striped socks, didn't we? And we looked ridiculous. It was so funny. Anyway, it was such a laugh. And then the next day, a few more people joined. And then actually, Caroline Moore is, she was our trainer and she's incredibly fit. So then she came out one day as well.
Oh my God, like a full team. Right?
Yeah, it was really funny. Like, it was hilarious. It was really enjoyable. But it was kind of like nice. It was a bit of team bonding and stuff like that. But I kind of was like, I feel like we need to be doing something because we were smashing back pizzas and it's always been I've always been aware of fitness, but didn't know that much. Anyway, but to run, I've come back crippled. It wasn't doing me any good whatsoever. But I just thought, I'm meant to be doing this. This is what athletes do, sort of thing. Anyway, so I always remember there was absolutely nothing. I'm thinking, we are competing around country and there's actually nothing. There was absolutely nothing. And so I was obviously in so much pain. And then shortly after I came back from that, I got a terrible kidney infection that turned into sepsis.
Oh my God. Wow.
And I was literally in bed and I was in hospital, in bed, in hospital, on a drip, like so ill. And I thought, I am 18 and this is what's happening to me. Like, how am I, this career goes on for so long. And then I'm turning around to him and saying, like, I can't carry on like this. I cannot. I had like 12, 13 horses. I was exhausted. I was financially, it was tight as anything, and mum and dad were on the yard with me. They were crippled, and I can't do it to them anymore. Like, I cannot carry this on, and you become a slave to what your dream is.
And it's fully a career that is like so tough on your body, and you just like crack on. Like, you'll have like a limb hanging off, and you'll be like, but I'm fine. Like, I'll be fine.
I've got to get to the next event to get the results.
Pay
the bills.
It was like that, and like you've got owners. I had amazing owners at the time. I thought, I'm not riding their horse. I need to be riding their horses. It was unbelievable. And then that's when I suddenly didn't know. I went, I can't do this anymore. I don't need this many horses. I do not need this many horses. And I think
that's such a brave decision.
Well, it was scary because if you imagine, like, as a kid, I've looked up to Tina, Pip, all these amazing riders who have hundreds of horses.
They're not far away from here, are they?
No, really local. Like loads of horses, and that's how you did it. Was you had loads of horses and you rode all those horses. You had loads of grooms, you had loads of staff. Like, that's how it was. Your family had a farm. But I've never been. Mum and dad have thrown everything into it for me, but we've never been able to have. We had one yard, but there was like 8 boxes, but we had never had anything big enough, so I had to rent the stables. So I was like, it was ingrained in me. Like, I've read all these books. You've got to have loads of horses to do it, and I thought. But how the heck, I'm not riding these horses very well. I'm actually giving them 20 minutes because I'm in so much pain. So I was like, right, I had to make this decision. I had to tell a few owners that I didn't want to ride their horses anymore, which, again, no one wants to give up owners. No. So you can imagine me having to tell some owners, I've given up money. But I thought, it's the only way I can do this.
And it's not like you've got like the age and like experience behind you to be like, I'm not going to do this because of X, Y, and Z.
And I only had young horses. I didn't have any. It's not like I had like Danny, my top, the one I went to Europe. He'd retired, and I was left with 2 horses owned by the Queen. So that was one of my big. Because I had 2 of them and she owned them, and I thought, do you know what, I really want to do this justice. This is the most incredible opportunity. Right now, I can't do it justice because I'm like absolutely wrecked. And then I wanted to keep one of my own, which is the one I got off the track. And who was the other one? Rosie. I'm sure you've seen her on Instagram. Really naughty chestnut.
Oh, is that the one that you put the video up being like, why do we lift weights?
Yeah.
Didn't Horse and Hound, right? No,
it was
Nation.
And I went like,
video of you.
I've actually gone viral twice on that.
Number 1 video now.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Honestly. Yeah, so I was like, right, that's it. I'm doing that, and I'm going to invest in my health. And sort this out. And it was the worst. It was scary. Everyone, are you giving up? Are you giving up? Are you giving up? Is that where you're getting? No, I'm not giving up. I'm just doing it differently. Like, I think there comes a point, and this all kind of relates. This is all my journey because it all relates. Because for me, that was my mental health really struggled after I did that. I was struggling with all those horses, but then I seriously struggled when I dropped down because the amount of questions you get: are you giving up? Are you like this? Are you that? And you think, and
like you're asking those questions as well, like.
Like
it's not just from everyone else. Like you're there doubting your decision 100%.
As well. Like if I'd done the right thing, like I'm not doing it how these professionals are doing it.
Everyone else is doing it. Like literally everyone else.
And anyway, that's kind of that kick-started the whole training, and then I started training, and I started to realise how weak I was, and why I was getting the sciatic pain, and working out where it was stemming from, and then it was literally that's how it started.
What inspired you to start the page We Are Athletes?
I just wanted to get. It was literally just about more education. At the time, like I said, the PT thing wasn't. I was just gonna almost. I don't like using the Instagram influencer, but I just wanted to use my page to help influence other riders through my own personal journey with strength and conditioning to realise what they could be doing. And safely.
Yeah. What I really like about your page as well is it's not like some of the gym pages where it's like, oh, look how big the weights are that I can lift. You're sort of very honest about your journey. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, I haven't had time to work out this week, so I've done this quick workout. Yeah. Or feeling not very motivated, so I grabbed my friend and we went together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I think that is why I wanted to do it, because in this industry there's no PTs who have ridden to a high level or
know the industry.
And understand it. Like someone like, I don't know, your top riders like Gemma Tassel's not going to want to go to some old PT who knows nothing about riding when she's smashing out 12 horses a day. Like, she needs someone to understand what she is doing, and the fact that she doesn't need to be running on a treadmill for an hour or even going for a run. I do hardly any cardio, and I just say, everyone thinks it's all about cardio. I hate cardio. I do enough cardio pushing the bloody wheelbarrows around. I don't need any more. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe in the off season when I've stopped riding a few horses and only riding 2, I like the cardio. But when I'm riding,
it's not that like relevant to the sport. Like, you're not doing like a cardiovascular thing, like all the work, even like cross country riding. Yeah, you're getting out of breath and you're exerting yourself, but it's all like core and balance and endurance.
It's strength. It's strength. It's strength, endurance, kind of. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. Have you found, like, talking about like you having naughty horses? Have you found they like them messing about or being strong or whatever doesn't affect you? Doesn't affect you as much? Because so in my first year of uni, I was a rower and I was so much stronger because I was doing weights every day and I was doing all this, and I was riding a horse out for someone and we were cantering up a hill and she was like, "Oh, do you not find him really strong?" And I was like, No, not at all. Yeah. And it was when I think it's the reason my horse is so polite to gallop, because she was 5, I think, so she was just starting to do her canter work. And it was when I was really, really strong. So she tried to gallop off with me. She just didn't get anywhere. Because I was so big and strong. But like, did you find that?
So I've actually, Rosie, the chestnut, I went from riding her in a gag to now I ride her in a 2-ring kind of universal. Yeah. She's not changed that much. Like, she's quite she's on her head a lot. Like, that's just how she's built. But I've just got stronger. Yeah. And also, do you know what the other thing I always find is a lot of riders don't know where their strength is coming from. A lot of riders pull from the front of their body, and actually a lot of riders don't realise that every rider I think I've ever seen is so weak on their posterior chain, which is the back part of their body, and we do not use it at all. Like, I'll give you some examples, which when I teach people, like, I think, oh my god, I just want to get you off this horse into the gym and show you what is happening.
Squat.
Yeah, so it's like squat, like, basically for the posterior chain, you need, like, I would recommend for horse riders to be having the big compound lifts, like squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts. That is all going to help that posterior change, and they're actually all quite a lot of full body exercises, because they all involve your core, your lats, and your glutes and your quads and everything. But what I've actually forgot what that question was. I go off on tangents.
Just about like making sure that you're like, when your horse is being strong and pulling, you're using like the back. I remember
now. So what I found was when I watch people ride, you need to know a lot about your body when you ride. Yeah. Every part of your body affects your horse. Yeah. Now, if you said to some people like, where are your lats? Most people probably wouldn't know. And I'm not saying, oh my god, how you don't know? Of course you're not going to know, because you haven't been educated to know where they are. Yeah. But actually, if you say you're doing sit and trot, or you're just doing rise and trot, and someone says roll your shoulders back, that is actually the wrong term. Yeah. That's not the right term. Like, that's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is engaging your lats, and in turn that's going to make your shoulders go back. and you lock your lats in. You don't the whole roll your shoulders back. I'm demonstrating here and you can't see, but you literally people roll their shoulders back and they come up, and you get a lot of tension up in your neck. And then you get a lot of this from the riders. A lot of the old bobbing. And actually, if you to engage your lats, which is kind of further down, it's kind of the bottom of your shoulder blades. You kind of bring those bits in and together. You lock them in, which then gives you a nice top line. And without having to say roll your shoulders back, it's just the wrong term. And another example is when people are galloping cross country, you go into your like cantering position, galloping position, you're up, and what people would tend to do is drop out their core, so their stomach drops because they haven't engaged that core there. They then don't engage their glutes, so what happens is all the strain goes to your lower back, and I'm sure we have all felt.
I know.
I used to do that, and I used to have really
do
bad
it properly.
problems.
Because this could sound really ridiculous, but after my first event or two of the season, my glutes were always really sore.
Perfect. That's okay.
And I remember after I got off last year, and the next day, and Maddie being like, "Oh, how do you feel after your first event?" And I was like, "My bum's really sore."
Yeah, that's good. That means what you're doing is you're engaging your glutes, which is then you then bring your stomach in, and you give yourself a bit more of a stronger back, so you're not taking all that strain in your back. And then also when you're doing that, your knees, because then when you're not engaging glutes, your knees go on, and then your lower leg swings. And the only way I know this is by going to the gym. And the only way I know, when I sit on the horse, I think to myself, when my lower back's saying, "Oh, I'm not engaging my glutes enough." Well, I'm like, that is so, to me now, that's proper basic, but to other riders, I'm thinking, how the hell are you engaging your glutes when you're on a horse?
I used to find that I'd get to like minute 2 or 3 of a like cross country round, and my lower back would be like really really so sore, and it's exactly that. Like I wasn't using my core, I wasn't using my glutes, like any of that. And then I started running, and I got a bit stronger, and I started working like from a solid core. So like when I got up into a cross country position, if a horse was strong, I'd bring my hips forward, and and then they were pulling against my whole body and not just my upper body, and it meant like I touch wood. I mean, touch wood. I don't get canted off with by things. Like horses just can't.
No, exactly. And that's, that's amazing that you've actually recognised that.
I mean, it does, like, it makes such a difference. Like, so actually having to, like, work yourself properly. And actually when you, like, link all your muscles together, like, you don't get, like, one really sore muscle, because, like, you're recruiting so many other muscle groups in that, like, it's, like, a whole body effort.
Yeah, it is. It's all about connecting it all together. Definitely.
A lot of our listeners they'd be at work full time, or they'd be at school. How would you say they could fit in training, or things that maybe they could make sure they do if they're sat at a desk?
Yes, actually, I heard something. I listened to a lot of podcasts, fitness podcasts, and they said about these stand-up desks.
Oh yeah,
someone in my office has one, and you have to.
God, that's an exercise in itself. Like winding it up.
So you do a different arm.
Yeah,
it's so funny because they're engineers, and like they work in IT, so it's just these little like very pale guys winching their desks furiously, and they dutifully stand like meerkats, like typing away. It's brilliant.
Yes, I think that's. I mean, if you're able to have something like that, that's great. Going for walks at lunchtime and things like that. Like that's one thing I've really. I mean, we walk a lot because we are always on the yard. But actually, sometimes we don't actually walk and just relax. We're always on a mission everywhere we go. So I think going for walks. But also I think prioritising. That's kind of, you have to plan. You have to plan. You have to be organised. You just got to be organised and get it in. I would say, if you have a busy life, like a schedule, training in the gym 3 times a week is plenty. That can really change your body. That's all I did at the start, and it changed me. In 5 months, I was a totally different person. All I was doing was training 3 times a week, literally. But I was doing the right things. And it was quality.
When that, like, when you get it right, and like your form's good, and like it feels easy because your form's good and you know what you're doing. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how like you get the bug for going.
Have you said there's not a lot of PTs out there that have ridden to a high level? How did you find yours?
So he actually doesn't ride at all.
Okay.
So I've actually adapted him. I've had to teach him about
Okay.
riding.
You've trained him well.
Yeah, so he didn't, but he was an athlete. He was a pro footballer. Okay. So for me, mentally, he was great because I could talk about all the struggles and stuff like that. And what he teaches, he actually says, like, teaches people how to be athletes. He teaches people to be strong. You know, so many have to be some PTs can train you skinny waist, small waist, big bum, all that. That's irrelevant to us.
Yeah.
And I always remember sometimes thinking I wanted to go down that route because it's very easy once you get into it and you look at Instagram to go down the aesthetics route. Yeah. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that at one point I wanted to be a fitness model. And I remember going to George, right, I was like mid-season and I was being silly, you know, and I went, I want to be a fitness model. And he went,
no, you don't. Shut up.
Well, he just went to me, do you want to be a fitness model or do you want to be an athlete? And I was like, well, obviously I want to be an athlete. And he was like, right, let's start training. You know, and you think, yeah, that's so true. Like, what am I doing? You know, like, it's so easy once you get into gyms, especially, everyone looks different. And I think, like, for me, actually, mental health wise, that's why the gym I find so brilliant, because it was like today I trained with someone who we are from completely different backgrounds of life, like completely different, but we have one thing in common and we are so passionate about it. And when you go into a gym, like I've had a few days where I've been feeling a bit like I'm a bit stressed, I'm tired, and I went today to that gym session. I prioritised, I rode a couple horses in the morning, came home to some studying, went to the gym at lunchtime, came straight back from the gym and rode some more horses. And after I went to that gym session with her, and we just chatted, and she was like so buzzed, and we were so buzzed of what we were doing. And horses didn't come into it. It was just the fact we were doing PBs and we were having fun, and all the endorphins, everything. I've never ridden so well. And everyone's like, how do you ride after you've, like, I did a PB today, like I was lifting some serious weight. I don't feel tight, like I'm literally like pumped from it, and I went and rode so well. And I just think that being around that positivity, that actually if you do get involved in the gym, a lot of people are very worried about gyms, but actually if you get in there and you surround yourself with people that are actually working really hard, and you find good gyms that have lots of, like, I go to one that have bodybuilders, boxers, like all these different kind of athletes. It's amazing, like the vibe you get, and you come away feeling really inspired. And I think, like, people have got to stop being scared and actually think, I'm an athlete, I'm going to go and train with some other athletes and feel inspired by them. And
actually, like, they don't care how much or how little you're lifting, as long as you're like, you're passionate about improving, and you show up, like,
you show up and you just graft, like, that's what they're about, and that's what they've been doing.
What do you do on the days where, like, you struggle with motivation for, like, going to the gym or, like, getting on the next horse? Like, how do you, like, motivate yourself just to, like, crack on and do it?
I just think you just got to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's absolutely no magic cures whatsoever. Like, I definitely think having a good diet and having enough sleep, like, they're two things I cannot stress enough. Like, sleep, no, what is it? It's diet, which involves hydration. I drink 3 litres of water a day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, we don't drink enough water as a sport. My food is good. I have plenty of protein. I have protein oats in the morning. Like, I have grenade bars, and like, I make sure I eat enough.
Do you take protein shakes as well?
Yeah, so I actually put my protein powder in my food, but then I eat grenade bars, which are a protein bar. That's how I kind of get extra, extra protein and get enough. I had a protein shake today. Sometimes if I think a bit hungry, I had to go back and ride, and I just had that session, so I'll take a protein shake with me today, kind of thing.
And they do nice ones now.
Oh, I had a toffee. It was like a toffee mousse or something with almond milk. Unbelievable.
Like, I lived with a rugby player when I was at uni, and he lived on protein shakes. They're quite nice. They're not bad.
Yeah. And I think with the gym, like, trying to motivate yourself in the gym, what I tend to do is also, like, we all struggle. What I do is, if I come back here for lunch and I'm going back to put them to bed or whatever, and I've ridden everything already, I will put my gym stuff underneath my waterproof clothes so that I can't be tempted not to go. Yeah. It's hard coming back here sometimes, because my horse are at my auntie's, and I go to my auntie's, put them to it, and I think, if I come back here, Mum's gonna have dinner ready, it's like 6:30, I'm just gonna want to sit down.
And the minute you sit down, you've lost it.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm not some, like, I don't, like, have motivation coming out and bundles. I struggle as everyone does. But you just gotta, and the other thing, you gotta be honest with yourself. Like, I think sometimes if I struggle with motivation, I have to look, is it because I'm actually tired? Do I actually need to give myself a rest day? I think you just have to be honest with yourself. Am I being lazy? or do I actually need the rest?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you got to really be strict with
And I think,
yourself.
like, make sure that you're not burning yourself out as well. Like,
Yes.
I go through phases where, like, I either do not want to do anything, or I want to do something every single day. And even if I'm tired, I'm like, no, you have to do something, you have to do something, you have to do something.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to the next day and I won't be able to do anything for, like, a week, because I'll be like, oh, I can't face it. Like, I literally can't face it, because I'll have burnt myself out.
Yeah, exactly.
In, like...
No, you can't. You have to give yourself the rest days. As my mum always says to me, she always reminds me, are probably the most important day.
Yeah.
Because without rest days, you actually can't get better.
No.
You can't, you can't recover.
If you could recommend one exercise for our listeners, what would it be?
Hip thrusts.
Oh, yeah.
Love a hip thrust.
Love a hip. I actually did 170 kgs today on the hip thrusts.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
a lot.
my God.
A lot of weight. I've been doing them for years. So. But so they're quite a safe exercise. If you deadlift and things like that, I would always advise being taught to do it properly, because it can damage you if you do it wrongly. But hip thrusts tend to be quite, your back supported, you can't really go beyond, your range of motion movement. It's quite a safe exercise, but very good for your posterior chain.
Yeah.
And if you want a good bum, it's the way to do it. Depends what your goals are.
That is what everyone wants right now, isn't it?
Which areas do you focus on the most when you go to the gym? As you were saying about doing your
basically
glutes.
posterior chain, I would say. Everyone is different. So if I was, when I first went to gym, I was really crooked. I put a lot more weight through one leg than I did the other, and you don't really notice how much until you have a squat bar on your back and you realise one side is a lot lower than the other.
Yeah.
I remember I had that when I was doing my personal training sessions, and we would do I can't remember what they're called. You have the bar on your shoulders.
Back squat.
Yeah, back squats.
Yeah.
Loads of back squats. And I knew when I was coming back up, I was pushing in on one side rather than pushing equally through both of my legs. And I'd like have a little wiggle and then get myself up, and I was like, now I notice.
Yeah, and that's probably what you do on a horse as well. Not anymore, but like before knowing that you did that under a squat bar. But what you have to remember as well with horses, they take they absorb a lot of our bad habits. That was nice. So when you're literally under a bar and you've got nothing, that is it.
Yeah.
You are going to see all your bad habits right there.
Yeah, and there's no like excuse. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, it's because my horse is built like this, or because this is built like this. Like, if you're under a squat bar, it's just you.
Yeah, and there is a mirror, and you can see everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but hip thrust is what I would
Make everyone go into. Okay,
that was the last question, but you get it.
No, it's all
all
native.
about all about your hip thrust.
We've got to the 3 questions that we ask everyone. So what is one thing you couldn't live without? It does not have to be gym related. It can be.
It probably is. It's my protein. I rely so much on my protein pads. I don't know really.
What's your favourite protein powder?
Cinnamon.
Ooh.
But not as a shake. If I'm going to have a shake, it'll be like raspberry ripple or the toffee one.
The really sweet ones.
Yeah, I love sweet stuff. Probably my protein. My grenade. Have you had a grenade bar?
No.
Right, they do them in most petrol stations now.
I think I've seen them, but I haven't had
Right,
one.
you've got. If you take one thing from meeting me today, it's to go and get a grenade bar.
We got given, so we were running like a deal or something with some protein company, and they gave us a load of protein bars, and they're like, salted caramel flavour, like they're like dates and nuts all mushed up, and they're like salted caramel flavour or something, and they are gross.
Oh no, these
They
are like
are
proper like
horrible.
white chocolate on them and stuff like
Okay.
that. If you like Snickers, they do like a salted peanut, and it's like a white Snickers bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they do the white cookie as a cookie dough as well. It would just and then tag them on Instagram, say how much you like them. She'll love them. She'll love it. Anyone who's listening, get yourself a grenade
And
bar.
you're not
if
even
you've had
sponsored
one.
by them.
No,
so
I'm
we
not,
can't
but
go.
I'm just really passionate about this product.
really, really like them.
The next question of our 3 is, do you think talent is real? And how much of an impact do you think it has on an individual's success?
Okay, so I do think talent is real, 100%. But I think you can be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't work as hard as the person who's not as talented, you ain't going to be as good as that person that's not talented because they're putting in more graft than you.
You are the 4th person that we've
At
had
least.
that has said that exact
I think
same
it's
thing.
so true.
We
Like,
might have to change that question.
it's so true though, isn't it? Because I think there's actually a lot of top eventers who probably aren't naturally, but they've trained so hard. And I think that graft over everything is always the thing that comes out on top.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Like, there are people who get it naturally, but actually, like, you can always, like, do video analysis, work on your technique, work on your strength, work on your technique, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Like, there's always somewhere you can improve. Right, the final question is, what is one thing you wish you'd learned sooner?
This is a big one from me right now, because this is something I have learned this year, and I cannot stress it enough. This is what I was thinking. If you hang around with 9 negative people, you're going to become the 10th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So surround yourself with positive people, because I swear on my life, and it's proved me this season, that if you surround yourself with people that genuinely believe in you and genuinely happy for your success, you will do 100 times better, and you'll be happier in life. Like, it is just the way it is. I've been around a lot of negative people, and it had such a bad effect on me.
That's such a good one.
Yeah.
That's such a good one.
Yeah, so
You are what you surround yourself with.
You
You
are.
become what you surround yourself with.
you really are, and it's sometimes if that means sometimes hanging around with someone a bit less, then that's kind of life. Like, you've got to do what is good for you.
Yeah. And it is so true. I've not found it that recently, but I didn't move schools in the middle of years, but every time I got to after GCSEs, I went to a different college, and after college I went to university where I didn't know anyone. And every time I've moved, the people I've kept up with, I've not missed the people I haven't, and I have just felt so much happier not having them in my life.
Yeah.
God, if any of them are listening, you're great. We still talk, you're wonderful. But the people I don't talk to anymore, I don't, and it is you wake up one day and you're like, oh my god, I haven't spoken to that person in 3 years.
But you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of don't notice.
No, you do, and I think each friend, I've got an amazing selection of friends around me now, but they all do something totally different, but they're all really positive.
Yeah.
I've got non-horsey friends, which are so great when you just actually don't want to talk about horses.
Yeah.
And I've got the horsey ones that I literally go to, I'm like, I don't know what to do about this, and I know that you kind of get ideas going around, and it's so important. And I think I have a great family, positive family, who are into fitness, so that really helps.
Yeah. Have you found moving in more in circles of people who are taking their lives more seriously has helped that being around people who are more positive instead of people who are just living for the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. And people that just want more from their lives than just living for the weekends, or I don't know, it's amazing being around people that are passionate.
Yeah.
I always say is that passion is power. If you're passionate about something, I can be passionate about something, but necessarily you might not be passionate about that same thing, but then you will feel that same passion and be passionate about something else.
Yeah.
I feel like passion is something you can literally spread around, and you can infect people with it, and they can go away from someone oh my god, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
They either want to do what you're saying, or they want to go and go at something else. It's just amazing that's what I was saying about the gym thing, and I think when riders get together at an event, there is an unbelievable, it's like a hub of passion.
Yes.
And it's an incredible environment, but then each of you go away to your separate places, and it becomes so hard to keep that level of passion up because you're not all there together, and that's because our sport is so wide, isn't it? Everyone is so spread out, and that's the same thing with the other athletes. Don't forget, they're Tom's meeting up with his teammates every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we're having to motivate and keep that passion alive when we're by ourselves and not with like-minded people so much. And I think that for me, that is what has helped me, is the gym.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, like I'm saying, even though it's not horsey people, their passion for what they're doing, and when we're in the gym, it stays with you to then go back into what you're doing.
Yeah, and keeping that connection with motivated people.
Yeah.
Makes such a difference.
I have group chats, with my eventing friends, and we always chatting and taking the piss. If one of us is missed or something, and it's so embarrassing, we send each other the videos to laugh at each other, to make it a better thing, instead of being upset with yourself, and I think it is important. That's why it's so nice these days that we are talking more.
Yeah.
I think if people took the chance on fitness, hopefully it might just help the sport a little bit more.
Okay, so if our listeners want to follow your fitness journey and actually get some real life, Instagram motivation, where can they find you?
So I have a Instagram page, which is it's a personal one, which is at Harriet Upton, but I do have a We Are Athletes Instagram page as well. I may be combining them soon because actually I think that I am my story, so I kind of think that I might just keep it all as one. But I do have 2 at the moment, and I also have Facebook pages. But just give me a follow, send me any DMs, any questions.
I would recommend to go and check it out because there's a really hardcore video of you doing on the tractor.
Oh yeah, messing about on the tractor upside down. That's actually such a funny story. I wasn't actually gonna do. So I had this amazing guy come and video me. And he was like, oh yeah, we want to get some cool like gym stuff, but maybe we'll do it, keep it all relevant, keep it in the yard. And I said, yeah, it's such a good idea. Anyway, all week I've been thinking of ideas, you know, but I ended up wanting it to be really cool. Yeah. And so first of all, there's a few videos coming out, which we kind of, I did some pull-ups and stuff like that in the hay barn. And then I looked at his tractor. I looked at my mum looked at me. And she was like, no. And I went, I'm going to hang upside down off that tractor and do a backflip off it. And literally they all looked at it and I said, no, I used to do this. And I was like 5 off the monkey bars. Like, I can still do this. Anyway, I texted my uncle saying, do you think the tractor can hold me if I hang upside down from it and do some crunches? And he said, yeah, just don't eat that much that day. Taking the piss out of me. Anyway, I was like, right, so I went and got the keys. I was moving the old thing about. And I was like, that's perfect there. I've gone,
framing the shot.
Video this just in case I fall and it's funny, but this is a trial run. Anyway, I had my friend Emily, I said, Emily, can't stand underneath just in case this goes really wrong. And then everyone looked at me like, oh, Harriet's at it again. Like, you know, someone to stop her. And I've just swung my legs up, hit my legs over, let go, done like 8 crunches, and I thought, right, I've got a backflip off it. I didn't want to just get down.
No,
how boring is that? So I just like backflip off it, and I absolutely nailed it. And I was like, that is the video right there.
And the video is great because it's really serious.
Yeah.
And you like come out with your game face and then just climb up this tractor. Do your crunches and it's the music and it's great.
We'll
so
need
funny.
to put it on our story. I think we'll put it on our story.
There's going to be an outtakes clip because honestly, some of those, because when I was doing the pull-up video, I was exhausted. I did about like
pull-ups 500
pull-ups for this video. Anyway, some of them were only you get an insight into the video, so some of them close-ups. So in those close-ups, I got my friend Emily pushing out. And like, she's trying to keep out the shot and she's got her legs. And she's pushing up and down. And my mum, right, we've got it and we've got this take. We've taken like 50 attempts at this because we're pissing ourselves. And I just hear my mum go, and then we all just fell and like laughing like, oh, we can't do it. Like, it's so funny. But there's going to be an outtakes video because we were in a lot of like laughing fits. But
I don't know how you did that many.
I was wrecked. The next day, I swear on my life, my arms, oh my god.
I'm sure it's the sort of thing where like you can do it when you're a kid because you just don't even consider that it might go wrong.
And when you're lighter as well.
Like I used to like flip off my horse and like I'd hurl myself over gates and everything. And I was with some friends and we were running we were coming back from a late night and someone had shut the gates for where we were staying, so we couldn't get like through. So I just like ran up and vaulted the gate, and one of my friends was like, "What? You can't do that." And I was like, well, no,
I just did.
I probably couldn't if I thought about it, but because you just do it, and why not? And you kind of can't think about it too much, and why not? Just throw yourself over a gate.
That's the worst that can happen. When you break your neck, that's fine.
We did then find right next to the gate was a push to open. We found it as one of the other girls was halfway. So we did the classic like push to open, and she's just there being like winched out.
Oh my god, that's brilliant! What a great story.
Oh man, that was a good time. That was a good time.
That should be your motto. Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. I feel like just do it might be already taken.
Yeah, I guess that's the issue. It's like train, compete, repeat. I don't know where that's come from.
If you guys are looking to follow more about or listen to any other episodes, you can find them on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We do reply to DMs and mentions and everything. And if you have any specific episodes you want to request, email theponypod@gmail.com.
And if you've got any questions for Harriet but forgot what her Instagram is, or want to ask us any questions about the interview, make sure you get on the Flick chat and you can contact us directly there.
And it comes directly to our pockets, so we all have to reply because it's right there. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.